Kamala is back, and this week she is taking a trip to her ancestral homeland, Pakistan, not the Noor Dimension. Our young hero is bumming around Karachi, meeting new friends, and getting into Terminator-inspired chases. I'm Chris Goodmakers, and I return once again to break down the latest episode of Ms. Marvel. Spoiler alert for episode 4. Hey look! Umbrella Academy isn't the only show this month with a knife-throwing tryhard. Kamala is rudely introduced to Kareen, aka the Red Dagger, of the secret organization, the Red Daggers. This is the MCU introduction of a comic hero that also crossed paths with Kamala in the pages of Ms. Marvel. His comic counterpart is very different, however, living as much more of a standalone hero. His MCU version is part of a larger group with a more specific mission to protect Earthrealm from the clandestine, plus an incursion of the Noor Dimension. These two get off to a much rockier start, but are quick to become friends. This isn't exactly unusual in the MCU, because everyone always fights each other a little before they become friends. At this point, I think it's kind of expected from both parties. Are you cool? We better fight about it first. When the pair first met in the episode, Kareen even accused the young hero of being American.
Well, how do you know I'm not Canadian?
It's a bit of an in-joke as Kamala's actress, Iman Vellani, is Canadian. Vellani is a resident of Markham, Ontario, a city just outside Toronto. Actually, the connection to this episode goes further because Vellani immigrated to Canada with her family at the tender age of 1 year old. She was actually born in Karachi, the setting of Ms. Marvel episode 4. It wasn't just Kamala visiting her family's old home nation this episode. I hope Iman had better luck at the train station though. Hey look, it's another QR code. Yep, someone must have knifed my bangle and sent me back to the year 2011 because these scannable web links seem to be all the rage once again. This time, it's a rather obvious one in the episode, taking up a chunk of the frame on a photo stand. Just like Moon Knight, this code also links to a free copy of Kamala's debut issue, Ms. Marvel. Enjoy, everyone! What's funny about this giant obvious code is that it's sort of a joke. The same QR code actually already appeared in the very first episode. It seems like the showrunners really don't want you to miss out on a free comic. By the time we get to episode 6, there'll be a 30-second shot of Kamala just holding it up to the screen. Come on, everybody, scan now. At several points in this episode, Kamala dons the new mask that was so thoughtfully crafted for her by Bruno. It's the first real piece of her very own supersuit. Bruno probably already had Kamala's face mold from the Captain Marvel helmet he crafted for her, so it's even a perfect fit. It's also a little groundbreaking on its own. This style of mask is known as a Domino Mask. It's been an integral superhero accessory that has been worn by classic characters like Robin, the Comedian, the Green Lantern, and even newer groups like the Umbrella Academy. The most shocking thing about its inclusion here is that it makes Kamala the first MCU hero to ever wear one. That's right, what is an iconic piece of comic history has never before appeared in the biggest comic-based film franchise. Comment section, I will stop you right here. Goggles do not count. Sorry, Falcon. Granted that most Marvel heroes featured in the MCU don't wear domino masks in the comics, but there are exceptions. The Winter Soldier is probably the best example. However, his MCU counterpart had his dominoes swapped out for a sinister paintball mask. Now that Kamala has broken the dam, we will hopefully see many more to come. Maybe Patriot will get to wear one too, though he'll probably just end up in goggles. It's not every day that someone gets to live out their favorite movie. Considering that mine is Alien, I hope I never have to. Kareen fares a little better only because his is apparently the James Cameron Terminator duology. After Kamala and the Red Dagger finish their getting to know you fight, he takes the rare opportunity to quote the seminal sci-fi films.
Come with me if you want to live.
What?
Just kidding, I've always wanted to say that.
It's a funny moment, but also a bit of foreshadowing because later in the episode, Kareen takes on the role of Arnold in T2. He ends up trying to keep Kamala safe from Najma and her Jinn Brigade, escaping in a rather speedy tuk-tuk. Viewers, those things are never that fast in real life. He is chased by a large semi-truck down a narrow alley. It's similar to the aqueduct chase in Terminator 2, where the T-800 uses a beefy Harley to protect John Connor from a rampaging T-1000. Kareen should probably avoid steel mills for a while. During her visit to the Karachi train station, Kamala stops to admire a large Ant-Man mural. It's apparently part of a larger series of commissions, judging by the credit in the lower corner. Before it's rudely defaced by Kareen's dagger, a set of names are clearly visible. The second name is Adrian Alphona, who is an actual artist. Back in my first video, I brought up the Marvel Comics illustrator, but here's a quick refresher. Alphona was an artist on Kamala's comic debut back in 2014. He and writer G. Willow Wilson crafted the character for her comic debut. It's nice that the artist gets some credit here, because his work is all over the show's closing credits. Still, it would be nice if he got paid more than the absolute bare minimum. Treat your artists better, Marvel. That's how you ended up competing with Image Comics in the first place. By the way, there has been an Ant-Man reference in nearly every episode. What's the over-under on a Paul Rudd cameo in the season finale? Okay, viewer, let's really get into it. What the hell is going on with other dimensions in the MCU? After being taken back to the Red Dagger's hideout, Kamala is given a handy presentation on the Noor Dimension and the clandestines. It seems like Kamala has already had bad luck doing this exact thing last episode, but I guess Miss Marvel's true weakness is cute boys. Waleed, the leader of the Red Daggers, explains that the Noor Dimension is another realm, a universe that sits on top of our own, hidden behind a mystical veil. So which is it, Waleed? A realm, a dimension, or a universe? Because so far in the MCU, those have been different and wildly inconsistent things. Asgard, for example, is often cited as another realm. It is referred to as one of the 9 realms, the others including Earth and Jotunheim. However, Thor Ragnarok shows that Asgard is reachable by spaceship or wormhole, indicating that it's just in another part of our galaxy. But the Noor Dimension is not another planet, so is it part of the multiverse? What Waleed is describing when he talks about the Noor taking over our world sounds a lot like dimensional incursion. The process was described in Multiverse of Madness as when one universe collides with another, resulting in at least one being destroyed. The way the Noor is portrayed looks like it would fit in with the worlds we see Doctor Strange falling through. Maybe it's right next door to the Paint Dimension. This isn't necessarily something you missed, just something I'm terribly confused about. Kamala's outfit is starting to take its final form. As we already discussed, she has her new Domino Mask, and she's taking it for a spin. The Red Daggers also give her a brand new vest. Apologies if it has a more culturally appropriate name. Most of what I know about fashion comes from The Devil Wears Prada. She is still a few pieces short, and it's doubtful we will see the completed outfit before the season finale, though we may have already seen another final piece. The Red Daggers wear long red scarves to hide their faces. Kamala even makes a comment on the length. Miss Marvel's supersuit also has a long red scarf that flows behind the hero like the world's thinnest cape. She might get her iconic scarf from Kareen as a final piece of her outfit. It may even belong to the fallen Waleed, who suffered the inevitable fate of all good mentors. Someone better keep Kamala from getting behind the wheel because she can't figure out the whole go forward thing. This time it's not necessarily her fault though. The truck is a left-hand drive vehicle, meaning the gear order would be reversed. She would have gotten it right this time if she had been in an American-made vehicle. Iman Vellani's home nation is also referenced by her choice of in-flight beverages. Her mom points out that she has only spoken to order more Canada Dry. The soda is a specific brand of ginger ale produced by the same company as Dr. Pepper. It originated in 1904 in Canada, as the name suggests, and since 1982, all Canadian citizens must consume at least 1 bottle a day by royal decree. I better drink one now before the Beverage Enforcement Brigade arrives. Guess the CRTC can count this as the channel's mandated Canadian-based content. So how impatient are the clandestines? Last episode, Najma barely waited an afternoon before trying to destroy the 16-year-old girl she just met. Now in this episode, she decides that the best place to attack her is when she's in a secret hideout of your sworn enemies. Sorry, Najma, but what happened to Adam is on you. Next week, Kamala has been thrust back in time to one of the most traumatic events in the history of British colonialism. Why did the Bangles send her there, and how will she get back? Find out next week when I return. Same Kamala time, same Kamala channel.